Okay, well, before we wrap up and play a few songs, 2 more quick questions, because there are some hot button issues people have been wondering.
You say they'll be quick, but I'll do something about that.
You will. You know, the next one, we've gotten several questions about this, and actually a couple just came in as we were recording. You obviously have had some issues recently with Dave Meltzer, and it's really more about, it's not about his reporting, it's more about his opinions and his takes. Is that correct? Is that a correct way of putting it?
Yes, it's because you, and I've still not said, fuck you, Dave, and I hope you die, and you ought to be boiled in oil and whatever, because it really, it does hurt me that I still stand by that for historical knowledge and reporting, Dave has done the best job over the last 30 years of anybody. And he has interviewed and spoken with some of the biggest names in the business and some of the most important people. But over the last few years, he has lost his fucking mind. And he is, for whatever reason, will not just come out and shit on this stuff that he would have shit on in any of the intervening 25 years, the previous 25 years. He would have shit on it. He was shitting on stuff that drew money that the WWF did that sucked in the 80s. He was shitting on stuff that WCW did that drew money in the 90s because it was shit. But he won't just come out and say these fucking doofuses that have praised me and put me on a pedestal are in over their head and they're an embarrassment to the business. He's got to try to figure out some way to make excuses for them. And I'm sorry that he thinks that I just have a blind hatred of these people, but what I have is 2 eyes and clear vision when I've got my glasses on. And I understand the wrestling business and what they're doing right and wrong. And I don't want to suck up to anybody because I'm done with making friends in the wrestling business. I have all the friends in the wrestling business I want to have. As a matter of fact, there's a few I'm still looking to get rid of. I don't intend to court anyone's favor because I'm so disgusted at everybody in the wrestling business because of what they have been complicit in turning the wrestling business into. So I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to give my opinion. He can't hurt these people's feelings for whatever reason, which takes him out of the journalist position that he has coveted for so long and into a goddamn press agent position, because no matter how bad this shit sucks, no matter how many times that Twinkle Toes makes the face like his butt plug fell out, no matter how many times they fall on their ass, he's going to make excuses for them. And so that's what hurts me about a guy that I defended for so long, is knowing what the fuck he was talking about. And then he's got to spend a fucking year or more giving me the sideways elbows in the ribs when I'm not even talking about him. The worst thing I ever said for the longest time was, well, weed's legal in California. Dave can think what he wants. It's just so frustrating seeing an old friend of yours fucking lose it like that. But, he wants to be one of the cool kids, and he keeps giving me the elbow, so finally I had to give him a few elbows back. I will never forgive him for comparing those 2 fucking smart-ass douchebag middle schoolers to the Midnight Express. Especially Balding Buck to Bobby Eaton. There was no reason to insult Bobby like that. He had nothing to do with this whole discussion.
But again, to go back to what I said, your issues with him stem really from Dave's opinions about modern wrestling. And of course, and I agree with you on this, and I like Dave. You and I don't see eye to eye on Dave, but Dave needled you over and over and over again on his message board and on Twitter until you finally fired back. A lot of people say Jim Cornette destroys relationships. This is one I can actually say you kind of gave him a lot of rope and he just kept coming at you.
I was pestered into finally, and then I didn't do it publicly. I sent him several emails telling him exactly what I thought of what he'd been saying. Private emails, what he'd been saying, what he'd been writing, and what I wasn't happy about. And that I considered that our friendship was over and the matter was an end. And then he has to come back and do more blind items on his fucking shows. So yeah, the problem stems from Dave Meltzer will not tell these people the truth because he doesn't want the cool kids to be mad at him. That's why he's dressing like a goddamn 20-year-old every time you see a picture of him. Or he's giggling at all of their fucking allegedly funny antics. I'm sorry, he's got all the money he needs. He doesn't have to court people's favor. He doesn't have to suck up to people. And as I could understand if there was a goddamn horrible medical bills. He was on the verge of losing his house. His child was in an incubator. Yeah, okay, then lie and say bullshit to get a check or to make these people happy. But independently wealthy, could retire tomorrow, I assume, if he wanted to, certainly put in a full career's worth of work, and still just because he doesn't want to hurt these people's feelings? Fuck. And then he wants to hurt all his old friends' feelings to take up for this fucking shit. So, yes, I've Dave Meltzer, I've chalked up to another list of people who fucking disappoint me with their lack of principles, self-respect, and dignity.
Well, again, going back to my central thesis.
So what was this question?
Well, what I was going to say is your issues aren't about his reporting. You don't see things in the Observer because, you know, it's his opinion-based stuff, especially on Twitter.
If he reports somebody was in such and such place at such and such time and did this, I still believe it. If his credibility is completely shot with me now on his opinion of performances.
That's what I was saying. And again, I think, you know, if you read the Observer, he puts facts about AEW. If you just look on Twitter or listen to him sometimes, like you said, it does come across like someone doing PR work for AEW because he rushes to their defense even when he's not even involved in the discussion. He rushes to their defense.
Matt Sydal did jump off that thing and bust his ass, but at least he landed in the softest part of the ring. Everything's always got to end somehow flowery when they fucked up something else. Well, I guess this week he'll probably write Matt wasn't dead.
I'll give you an example that always cracks me up. Is a while back there was an AEW pay-per-view, I guess, and I pointed out that one match with a wrestler that Dave personally likes, so Dave kind of gives a little bit of leeway to. I said it was the worst match on the show. I heard from people in the building. And his response was, I'm paraphrasing, it was the second least good match on the show.
I saw that somewhere. Yeah, the second least good match.
But anyway, my point is, and again, you and I don't see eye to eye on everything with Dave. I pointed out several things where you and I agree, but I like Dave. Dave's opinions are one thing. His Twitter behavior around those opinions are another thing. But what he reports should be looked at as what he reports. This long buildup has been for the questions we've been receiving have been about some of the comments directed towards Dave from various wrestlers. I'm going to play you some audio here. And then I have a second comment. Tell me if you think this is too far. Now, one of the things Dave has reported in terms of this WWE third-party situation is that one of the breaking points for WWE, allegedly, according to Dave, was that Lana had I believe a third-party sponsorship deal with an energy drink. I won't name the energy drink because we don't have a third-party sponsorship deal with them. But apparently they were paying her and she was promoting them on her various social media accounts, is the way I take it. I don't know for sure. This is what I'm putting together.
And what I've seen of her, she should be lucky that anybody wants her to do anything because she was rotten when she was Russian, and now that she's not Russian anymore, she's just a fake ex-Russian.
I thought she was good as a Russian.
Accent up, accent down. I forgot the accent. What the fuck? And then she's not Russian. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I never saw her do anything I was interested in. Go ahead.
Well, tell me if you think this is too far. This is her husband, the former Rusev. I believe his real name is it Miroslav Barnyashev?
Well, you do and you'll clean it up. I don't know.
Tell me what you think of his comments here about Dave's reporting.
Hey, what do you mean if CJ's okay? What's wrong with CJ? Oh, the fucker. The motherfucker. What's his freaking face? Meltzer.
God.
Once again, putting out bullshit out there. And I'm fucking tired of this fucking guy. Like, honestly, man.
Okay.
Like, get the F out of here. Like, who the F are you to speak things like that?
What?
Because first of all, those are not true. Those are all freaking bullshit lies. This man, one day he's going to burn in hell. Like, it's 100%. And it's okay. Like, hey, go Meltzer, go ahead, collect everybody's money, collect their $10, $20, whatever the hell you are. Collect all their money. But let me tell you, once you die, most likely you're going to go to hell because of all your lies that you've managed to say every single day about pretty much everybody.
Well, there are the opinions of the former Rusev.
We never heard what he said that he was mad about. What did Dave say that he was mad about?
I think he's referring to the idea that it was Lana's sponsorship deal with the energy drink company that caused WWE to finally put their foot down about third-party deals.
So that's why he should burn in hell?
Apparently he doesn't know how much an Observer subscription costs, that's for sure.
Well, apparently he can't remember what Dave's face is, but
Now, before you comment on that real quick, because this has just happened, this is one people have been sending in during the show.
But besides that, also, this fucking clown, he's another one of these fucking clowns that's never been in the wrestling business except in the WWE, so he has no idea what the fuck goes on in the wrestling business to begin with, but I would be intimidated if I were Dave Meltzer, if I wasn't a normal, intelligent, sane person and realized there was no such thing as hell. I'd be scared. Go ahead.
I don't know if he's the former Ryback or if he's current Ryback.
That fucking goof.
This guy.
That meathead.
I had to open an incognito window on this one because he's blocked me, apparently. Probably because I'm the conduit to Cornette. But anyway, here's his tweet from a couple hours ago. I firmly believe the world would be a better place without Dave Meltzer. He's the most dangerous kind of mark there is and puts out lies for profit, creating hate for people he dislikes. He makes money off other diseased marks, but does so in a horrible way. Again, to my comment earlier.
Well, but this is coming, and once again, I already did the preface where I don't really need to defend Dave anymore, but it's ridiculous coming from guys who have never been in the fucking wrestling business anywhere but in this system, so they have no idea what it's really like, calling other people marks. No. Dave's reporting has always been the most credible because he talks to everybody, and everybody wants to spill their guts because they want to look good. But he talks to everybody, and he goes to ridiculous lengths to verify shit when it's a factual shit. His opinions, he's lost his fucking mind on the type of wrestling that he likes, but he's not a fucking liar. He's a misguided modern wrestling fan, but he's not a liar.
So you don't think he should either burn in hell or that the world would be a better place without him, like these two have just said?
No, I think the world would be a better place without AEW entirely, and Dave would have a shit fit if he heard that. But I said the only reason we need to get rid of Dave is if he's standing in front of us getting rid of AEW. Then he's got to go for the greater good. But no, I would spare Dave, even though he has fucking lost his mind.
These are some ridiculous, outlandish takes. You have to admit.
You know, and as I said, yeah, it's ridiculous because Rusev or the other fucking guy, they're just lucky anybody's talking about him. Because let's face it, the fuck, we're not talking about Bruno Sammartino and goddamn Buddy Rogers here. Dave Meltzer knows more about the wrestling business than both of those guys put together when he's in a coma. But I hate to defend anybody anymore because then they come out with, I've already told Dave off, we will not speak again because he is partially responsible, in my opinion, for making it seem okay to do this kind of outlaw bullshit on wrestling shows, to like this kind of outlaw bullshit. The fans of this garbage that they're doing are emboldened by Dave Meltzer because he likes it. So they think he knows what he's talking about. So Dave has squandered his goodwill that he had with a lot of people in the wrestling business that knew he knew his shit. Bill Watts liked to talk to Dave Meltzer. A lot of people with good wrestling minds in years gone by like to talk to Dave Meltzer. But now it's embarrassing. And so, no, I don't think
Did he reach out to you for his Bob Armstrong story?
No. Well, I've already told him we're completely done because of all the shitty things that like you said, keeping needling me, talking about how I was out of touch and I obviously didn't get the greatness of AEW and Kenny Olivier's tremendous psychology that's over everyone's head and the little blind items. I told him in personal email. I didn't want to start cussing him because I'd never stopped. So I just did it by email. We're done. We are not friends. We will not speak again. You have fucking insulted me and friends of mine for the last time with this bullshit. And I view you as partially responsible for getting people to think that this fucking hogwash is acceptable. But that doesn't mean he's a fucking liar. I've even said that before. Shawn Michaels, great in-ring performer, prick at a pillhead, but I can't lie and say he wasn't a great fucking worker. Dave Meltzer, senile, soft in the head, and likes shit wrestling, but I can't call him a liar.